What's up guys, it's Bye here with another Rise of Kingdoms video. First, I want to thank everybody who have helped providing the data to the free-to-play low spender leaderboard so far. I really appreciate it. So, today's videos, I will explain to you guys why do I want to build this leaderboard for free-to-play and low spenders. One, I want a place where people can compare themselves with other good free-to-play, low-spender players, myself included. I want to see who else are out there. Trust me, this leaderboard is not about me trying to show up my stats, right? I want to find out who else still out there. I want to know some of the best free-to-play player in Rise of Kingdom, right? I wouldn't consider myself one of the best, right? I think there are still a lot of better free-to-play player out there, because you know why? Because nowadays I am wasting a lot of time like making videos, a lot of time making content and dealing with a lot of issues, you know, like yesterday, right? Drama. So like I don't have a lot of time to commit to my account like I used before. So definitely, right, there are definitely a lot more better free-to-play player or low-spender players than myself. Like if you can look at the leaderboard so far, there are some better. You can already see some better free-to-play and low-spender players already. So this is what I want to find out, right? So we can also for this leaderboard right here, we can also have like a little competition here, pushing ourselves, competing against other players that are around our level, right, around our spending limit. For example, right, like I can try to like catch up to for example, right, like this guy Ottoman Return, he got like 3.6 billion kill, right? Like he's also in 1860 as well, so like I can try to like catch up to him, pushing my limit. Maybe next KvK I'm gonna try to get more kills than he does, right? So it's more reasonable, right? It's more realistic objective for me to go after a player around my level. Instead of like, let's say if you go to let's say go to the ROK leaderboard right here, right? Some of the player here, right? 15 billion kill point here, right? Big spender here. It's just not realistic or like very reasonable objective for me to go like pushing myself against some of the player here, right? They can spend a lot more money in the game and they have a lot more resources. So that is not something I can do, right? It's more reasonable, more realistic for me to go after some of the player here. If you look at the ranking, maybe I can try to catch up to Rex Lapis here, right? It's more doable, right? So that is the whole idea of like having the leaderboard here. Number two is that I have always focused on making content for free-to-play and low spenders player only. I do not suck up for the big spenders or making content about them, right? If you look at other YouTubers, they probably all have made some content about Baber at some point. I personally never make content about him, and I never will, because I do not care about the big mega spender, right? The last thing I want to do is to give them more attention. I am trying to give the spotlight for more free-to-play and low-spender players. I want to make content that I believe is good for you guys. I want to make the content that is relevant for free-to-play and low-spender players. Like, if you look at my KvK performance ranking videos, right, I always give shout out for small players. Like, if you don't believe me, go look at some of my KvK performance ranking. I always try to look for some small players, and I want to give them a big shout out because they perform very well, right? I don't give a damn about the big spender, right? Back in 1636, like I even did an interview with one of the best free-to-play players in 1636, right? Doesn't matter if people don't care about that video or not, right? I want to give more spotlight to free-to-play and low-spender players. I want to make content that relevant to free-to-play and low-spender, and that's it. So like once I have more data for this leaderboard, I will be doing a lot of things with it, right? I have a plan to reach out to some of the top free-to-play or low-spender players and do some small interviews, like asking them for what they do differently, if they have any advice for the rest of the player base, right? I want to share you guys a different opinion from a different player and not just from myself, right? So you gonna have like a bunch of like information there from different top free-to-play low spender players, and not just myself only. And from those information, you can decide for yourself what's going to be best for you guys. Um, like I also want to look for some of the like new free-to-play low spender players who are very good, right? It's very difficult for me to look for those players because of their kill points are pretty low, and there is no way for me to get an average kill points unless those players can fill out their information in this sheet. That is how I can find those players. Like I want to find those new players to ask them for advice as well, because they play the game recently, right? They start the game recently, right? Like for me right now, right? If you ask me like for some advice for like how can you play the game if you just recently start the game, like I am probably not the best person to give you the advice on that because there are a lot of changes happen to Rise of Kingdoms, right? Things change at the early stage of the game as well. People might do things differently, so it might be better for me to ask some of the new free-to-play low spender players on how they do things, and I'll be getting the information and I'll be passing the information back to you guys, right? So that is the whole idea of Zit Leaderboard here, and there will be a lot more things that I can do in the future for Zit Leaderboard here, right? And especially right with so many data here, you can also see for yourself as well, like see how other free-to-play and low spender players doing, right? Like for example, like how much kills they get per, how on the average how much kills they get, on the average how much deaths they have, right? It gives you so much information here, and I think Zit can provide a lot of helpful information for the Rise of Kingdom community. And that is the reason why I am pushing so hard for Zit Leaderboard here. It's not because like it's not for me, right? I am doing it for you guys, for the community right here. I want to be able to give you guys more better relevant information here. So again, right, I really appreciate everybody who's have filled out the information here so far, and I have a whole bunch of more, like a lot more people asking me for edit access as well. Hopefully we'll get a lot more information in the future. I am personally will also trying to fill the information, the leaderboard as well by myself, right? If I'm in a KvK, I will try to look for some of the best free-to-play players in my KvK, and I'll reach out to them and ask them for information as well. Anyway guys, I just want to make this video to explain to you guys what's the purpose behind it Rise of Kingdom free-to-play low spender leaderboard here. I hope you guys find this video helpful. Thanks for watching guys.